Hey folks, how's it going? It's Robert here of making hard apple cider. I got some dates here. What I'm going to do is this makes a good active ingredient for the yeast to work off of. So I got about 2 cups of water in a little pot. Throw some dates in there. Probably 20 or 30 of them in there. I'm going to just boil it on the stove. Anyway folks, this is my new place. Just a pretty tight squeeze, but it's all pretty compact. So I'm boiling it on the stove. Just in the pot. We'll let it come to a boil, and I'm going to throw in some nutmeg. I'm going to throw in some nutmeg in the process of this. Throw in some nutmeg, some cloves, and some cinnamon. All the stuff you can buy at your local grocery store. Ground nutmeg, cloves. It'll be mixed up well in the batch. Once it's... And I don't really measure anything. I just kind of pour it in. Seems to work good for me. And this is going to be spiced apple cider. That's what it's going to be. Spiced. So I'm going to go... That's what it looks like in there. I just threw it in. I'll boil it up. I put probably, like again, I don't even, for a gallon of it, I'll probably go with a mason jar and a half of sugar. Maybe just 1 mason jar because I don't want the alcohol content to be too strong. So we're going to go with 1 mason jar. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to pour the apple juice into one of these. It's just... these are all sanitized. It's just an ice cream container with an ice cream lid, and I attach my airlock right to, just punch a hole in it, a small hole, and the airlock just fits right in the top of it. Okay, I'm going to go do all this stuff and I'll be back to you. So all I'm doing here is going to cut just slots in the top of my can. I don't really have a can opener, but whatever works. This is unsweetened, pure apple juice. Right out of the grocery store. This costs like $1.49, but you can usually get it for and all I'm doing is just pouring it in. Nothing to it. My dates are close to coming to a boil, so I'm pouring my sugar in with my dates mixture. Actually, you know what? I might not do that. Remember, everything should be good and sanitized. The more you sanitize it, the better. Stir my mixture up here, all my ingredients. Boys, folks, I wish you could smell it. It sure does smell good. The nutmeg and cinnamon and cloves, it's pretty yummy. So I'm going to stir this for a bit and mix up my sugar and some this solution here and of the dates, the nutmeg, the cinnamon, and the cloves. I'm going to let it boil for about 10 minutes, and then I'll take out the dates, and I'll put the sugar in there and mix up the sugar, and then I'll pour it right in the bucket. That's what I'll do. Now I'll put a lid on this so no contaminants get in it. And this is just your basic airlock. They're like $1 at the place there at the brew store. Just fits in like that. Lots of space in it for it to breathe. That's a rolling boil there now. Yeah. My sugar. I got a sieve. Once I pour the hot mixture of the cloves and the dates in this should make the temperature pretty much what it needs to be to put in the yeast. For yeast, folks, all I'm going to do is what you can buy at the grocery store, and be it just Fleshman's yeast. It's nothing fancy for yeast. I like to take and mark my containers with a little bit of masking tape and just put a little date on them for what date they're going in the bucket, so that you know and don't lose track of it, because I usually brew in 5 or 6 different things at a time. This is not really a bushcraft thing. You could really make it into a bushcraft thing if you wanted to, by picking wild apples off of a tree, boiling it on an open fire, and just firing using the peelings of the fresh apples as your base to start your fermentation, because they will ferment. There's something on them that'll cause it to ferment, natural apples. But you got to boil your main part of your apples and save your peelings. Do it on an open fire. I might do a video of that. That'd be kind of cool too. This is fresh yeast. My stuff in the microwave is done, so I'm going to pause this for a bit and then go see my other stuff over here. Okay. Okay, so all I'm doing is taking my strainer. I'm going to pour my mixture into my pot. Pyrex, I heated it up before I poured my dates and stuff in. Steamed up the camera a bit there. So there's my dates, what's left over. There's enough nutrient in that now to be good. And I'll just pour my sugar in that. I'm going to use about a teaspoon of the yeast in the top. Give me a second, I'm going to stir this up. I'm going to need 2 hands, I'll be back. All I'm going to do, folks, is pour it in. Right in with my juice. There we are. And then stir it up. Okay. All I'm going to do is I'll take roughly a teaspoon of the yeast. So I'm doing 2. And just stir it up for about 60 seconds. There's enough sugar and it's warm enough. You can also use raisins too as your nutrient. This should brew up to about 10% alcohol in about a week. You'll be able to drink this in a week. It should be done fermenting. I'm going to let that sit for a bit, and then I'll stir it in another. We'll let her sit for 10 minutes and then we'll stir it again.